Hi, my name is Alvina Dervish and I'll be talking about Ulta Beauty Stores and Sally Beauty Supply. Ulta Beauty Supply is in a very competitive market. With companies like Sephora, Nordstrom, Macy's, there's many competitors in the market. Ulta is competing both in the high-end market and the low-end market. In the high-end market, their competitors are Nordstrom, Sephora, Saks Fifth, and in the drugstore market, their competitors are local grocery stores, pharmacies, online retailers like Amazon, Walmart, etc. Ulta has to establish themselves apart at every level. They have an upper hand from a lot of these companies because Ulta is one of the only retail stores that sells both high-end cosmetics and low-end cosmetics. So if you go to Ulta, you can buy yourself a $5 blush and you can also buy yourself a $9 blush. Sally Beauty Supply also has a leg up over Ulta in some instances. For example, Sally Beauty Supply is actually an international brand, so they have international recognition. Sally Beauty Supply does not only cater to individuals, but they also cater to businesses like salons, professionals, etc. I will be using liquidity ratios, asset management ratios, debt management ratios, and market value ratios to show the company's financial standing. I'll give you a small overview of Ulta. It was founded in 1990. It's one of the largest beauty retailers in the world. They carry both drugstore and high-end makeup brands. So they carry brands like NYX, NARS, and they also carry some new indie brands and a lot of international brands. They have approximately 20,000 products with 500 different brands. According to the 2018 statistic, they had around 1,174 stores. They have a convenient concept, which is basically that it's a one-stop shop for all your needs, all your makeup needs, skincare needs, hair care needs, and they also have salon products and salons inside the store as well. Ulta's mission statement is, every day we use the power of beauty to bring to life the possibilities that lie within each of us, inspiring every guest and enabling each associate to build a fulfilling career. Ulta's marketing strategy is kind of a little different because they cater to the high-end, mid-range, and low-end customers. They have a much larger customer base. So you would most likely think that most customers lean towards the less expensive makeup, but actually the high-end beauty market is relatively really large, and Ulta is able to capture all those customers by having their perfumes, their skincares, so they have a much larger variety than other stores. They launched 92 new brands in 2018, including multiple international brands like Inglot, Morphe, etc. They have an Ultimate Rewards program that it's always existed, but they revamped it, so now the customers can use their points they get from purchasing items on high-end cosmetics. That is a new concept, and a lot of stores don't carry that. So say if you have 100 points, you can get $3 off a high-end item. They have gifts on purchases on special occasions like Mother's Day, Father's Day, etc. And that usually attracts a lot of customers. They also offer salon services like eyebrow services and hair services. Their hair services includes blow dries, shampoos, all the basic services a person usually requires from their salon. Here's a list of their board of directors. Their chief executive officer is Mary Ann DeLeon. She joined Ulta Beauty in 2013, and since she has joined, she has revamped the whole system, making it a lot better and a lot fresher, and she has been able to increase Ulta Beauty's sales by a lot. Here's the top compensation analysis for Ulta. The company's executive compensation consists of three parts. There's a base salary, an annual incentive, and a long-term incentive. The base salary is reviewed every year based on how much sales Ulta has, their competitiveness, their budget increase or decrease, and the economic and market consideration. Their annual incentive, though, is very based on how they do. So if a company does really well, the top management gets a much higher percent of incentive. The long-term incentive program includes grants or stock options, PBSs, and RSUs to all their top executives and certain other employees who qualify based on the amount of years they work at the company or their level of employment. Now I will talk about their competitor, Sally Beauty Supply Holdings. Sally Beauty Supply is an international retailer and distributor of professional beauty supplies. So the difference between Sally Beauty Supply and Ulta is that Sally Beauty Supply not only sells, number one, locally, they also sell internationally. They have stores all over the world. And Ulta tends to cater to more individuals and men and women who like to wear makeup on their individual basis. While Sally Beauty Supply actually does a lot of wholesale selling, so they cater to salon professionals, and they carry more products like hair extensions, and they're very focused on the hair market as well as the beauty market as well. They carry 10,000 different products in 3,700 stores. So like I said, Ulta has a lot more products, but Sally Beauty Supply is very specialized because they carry a lot of salon brand items that you cannot get at Ulta stores. Sally Beauty Supply's customer base includes retail customers and salon professionals. They have two different business units. They have Sally Beauty Supply and Beauty Systems Group. Sally Beauty Supply is the one that has the retail stores that you can easily avail. But Beauty System Groups is actually the group that owns the professional and the consumer business. Their annual revenues are an upward of $3.8 billion, and their operating earnings are approximately $380 million. Sally Beauty Supply's mission statement is, our mission is to empower our customers to express themselves through hair. Our strategy is to be the expert and leader in hair color and care for the consumer and the salon professional. We plan to focus on hair color and care through our strategic product assortment, leading experiences in color and compelling customer experiences, while also increasing our operating efficiency and profitability. So by that mission statement, you can see that Sally Beauty is more focused on the hair side of beauty products, but they also carry some makeup items, and Ulta also carries hair products, so they're very competitive in that market. Here's Sally Beauty Supply's marketing strategy. Just like Ulta, they carry a wide range of products. Now Sally Beauty Supply caters a lot more to individuals who are interested in hair products and hair care and salon professionals, while Ulta caters to all individuals. They cater to individuals and salon professionals, which is again a leg up over Ulta. They have a new plan that includes cost-saving initiatives focused on organizational efficiencies, sourcing of products and brands for resale, indirect procurement, store operating expenses, and inventory management. Sally Beauty Supply is also trying to get into e-commerce so they can sell their products online. They believe that not only will it increase their customer base, but it will also provide them more visibility, because a lot of individuals don't know about Sally Beauty Supply because they can't just Google and buy their products. Here's a list of board of directors for Sally Beauty Supply. Their CEO's name is Kristen A. Berkman. Now we'll talk about the top management compensation analysis for Sally Beauty Supply. They compensate their employees in two parts. There's a base salary and there's an equity-based compensation. So the base salary of Sally Beauty Supply is not based on sales, but it's actually for all board of directors. The independent board of directors, not the CEO, but the independent board of directors are paid $55,000 a year, payable in advance in 4 quarterly payments. They're also paid if they attend online meetings and in board meetings. They're compensated based on that. The other source of compensation is their equity-based compensation, which is similar to Ulta, where they're based on percentage of sales. So according to Sally Beauty website, each independent director was granted an annual equity-based retainer with a value of approximately $125,000. This is based on the 2018 statistics. Now I will talk about the financial ratios comparing Ulta Beauty Supply to Sally Beauty Supply. The first two ratios I'll talk about are current ratio and quick ratio. The current ratio is a liquidity ratio that measures a company's ability to pay short-term obligations that are due within 1 year. Quick ratios is an indicator of company's short-term liquidity position and measures a company's ability to meet its short-term obligation with its most liquid assets. As you can see, the Ulta Beauty Supply's current ratio and short-term and quick ratio are much higher than that of Sally Beauty Supply, which indicates that they're in better position to pay off their current liabilities and their long-term liabilities. Sally Beauty Supply has a 0 quick ratio for 2018 and 17 because they had a negative equity for their shareholders. The next ratios I'll talk about are the asset management ratios. The first one is inventory turnover ratio, which is basically a ratio that shows the effectiveness of inventory compared to the cost of goods sold. The average age of inventory ratio explains the time it takes for a company to sell its inventory. Total asset turnover and fixed asset turnover measure a company's ability to produce sales from its assets by comparing net sales with average total assets or fixed assets, depending on which ratio we're talking about. So Ulta's inventory turnover is much higher than Sally Beauty Supply, which basically indicates that Ulta is able to get rid of their inventory much faster. Now, the problem with this ratio is that a higher inventory turnover is good, except it might indicate that Ulta is not stocking up enough. So they need to look into that as well. The average age of inventory for Ulta is much lower than Sally Beauty Supply, which basically means that Ulta, when they sell out of a product, their average age for that product is around 63 days, versus 170 days for Sally Beauty Supply, which means they're selling out of their products faster, they're able to generate revenue faster. The total asset turnover for Ulta is slightly higher than Sally Beauty Supply, which basically means that they're able to turn their assets into cash much faster. So they're able to use their assets to create more products or sell more products much faster than Sally Beauty Supply. And the same is the fixed asset turnover for Ulta is much lower than Sally Beauty Supply, which means their fixed assets are much more useful in the production. The next ratios we'll talk about are the debt management ratios. The debt ratio measures how much of a company's operation comes from debt instead of other forms of financing. The debt to equity ratios measures the degree in which a company is financing its operations from debt rather than its own equity. The long-term debt to equity ratio is calculated by dividing company's total liabilities by shareholders' equity. And the times interest earned ratio is used to measure a company's ability to meet its debt obligation. As you can see, Ulta's debt ratio is much lower than that of Sally Beauty Supply, which means that they're able to meet their debt obligations much faster than Sally Beauty Supply. The debt to equity ratio and long-term debt to equity ratio for Ulta is much better because Sally Beauty Supply is not actually compensating their shareholders as of now. They're actually in negative equity, which means shareholders actually end up investing more to get the company running. The time interest earned for Ulta is not available because they actually did not have any interest expense in the following years, and Sally Beauty Supply did, which means that they actually have not only do they have higher costs, they also have to they end up paying interest expense each year. The next ratios we'll talk about are the profitability ratios. The operating profit margin measures how much profit a company makes on a dollar of sales. The return of investment measures the gain or loss generated on an investment. The return of asset is a financial ratio that shows the percentage of a profit a company earns in relation to its overall resources. And the return of equity measures how effectively management is using a company's assets. So as you can see, the operating profit margin and the net profit margin are slightly higher for Ulta than Sally Beauty Supply, which means they're able to generate more income. The return on investment for Ulta is also much higher because they're getting when they're investing into a product, then they're getting return on their investments much faster than that of Sally Beauty Supply. The return on equity for Sally Beauty Supply is negative, hence Ulta is doing better because Sally Beauty Supply again is in negative equity right now. The next ratios we'll talk about are the market value ratios. The price earning ratio compares company's current price to its shareholders' earnings. The market value to book value is a comparison of market value of price compared to book value. If you look on these, you can see the price earning ratios for Ulta is much higher, basically meaning that they have a higher standing in the market. The market value to book value of Ulta is also much higher because Sally Beauty Supply is negative, which basically indicates that in Ulta's books, their stock prices or their what they believe they're worth is actually much closer than that of Sally Beauty Supplies. There's no dividend payout or dividend yield yet because none of these companies get out a dividend in the past 4 years. The last thing we'll talk about is the cost of internal capital. To calculate that, we use the beta 1.35, the market risk premium, and the risk-free rate. And Ulta Beauty's cost of internal capital is 25.61%. Here's a graph of Ulta stock prices starting from January 1st, 2017 to 12/31/2018. Basically, it's indicating that Ulta is actually relatively good. Their stock prices have seen a little bit of a decline, but they've been high comparatively in the entire time. This is a comparison with the Sally Beauty Supply. Now, Sally Beauty Supplies, as you can see, is actually in a slow decline. They've been declining since 2017. They had a little bit of a rise, but they're going back down, which is indicating that they're not doing so well in the stock market because of their equity issues. In conclusion, Ulta is a very profitable company with excellent ratios. It is extremely worthy to buy their stocks, but I would recommend to stay away from Sally Beauty Supply until they fix their equity issues.